Hello YouTube, today is March 7th, 2024. I am leaving work. I've got a subject I want to talk about today, so that's why we're doing this again. This is going to be our 5th driving and chatting video. Yeah, 5th, pretty sure on that. So the subject is something we've already kind of gone over a little bit, and that is what the story was or was supposed to be for my Minecraft series. So I want to recap what the story is currently. So Natanis Likens, a cleaner, basically a mercenary for dealing with alien incursions. I hate those speed bumps. Alien incursions, like creatures from another planet, creatures from another dimension. Cleaners are just that. They clean up. I will admit, right off the bat, I stole the cleaner name or idea. It straight up came from Back 4 Blood. The group of individuals that are tasked with going out and doing stuff because they are immune to the zombie infection are called cleaners. I straight up stole that. You know, whatever. So Natanis Likens is a cleaner, and he gets contacted by the galactic government, which I was calling monitoring order and jurisdiction around nearby galaxies. If you aren't aware, that's just Mojang. That's the acronym that I came up with for it. And he gets a mission from them, like a big time, we need you to check in on this mission. Thought I had a hair in my mouth. So what they end up doing, or what they find out, is the Prometheus deep space colony crew has gone missing. They have not reported, and I think at the time it was supposed to be like 6 months or something. And no contact can be established with them. What's even scarier about that is the colonies closer to the government main headquarters, like the main planets, like the core planets, have slowly gotten darker. So whatever is going on is coming in to the region of space that the galactic government is in charge of, that Mojang is in charge of. So he's been tasked to go find out what the heck is going on. But it's a deep space ship, so they are very far out. They are very far out. And in order to like get him out there as soon as possible to, you know, figure out what is going on and deal with it and reestablish connection with some of the colonies that have gone dark and then reestablish with the ship, they have retrofitted a small carrier ship. This would be like the equivalent of, you know, a person's car that they're using to make deliveries for food. That's effectively what they were able to get a hold of. They've retrofitted it with an FTL drive, faster than light, in order to try to catch up to the deep space crew. So yeah, that's kind of where that was at. Anyway, moving on from there, that's actually where the story starts, is with that. That's the setup. That's why he's on this journey, why he's going out there, why he's messing around inside the oh, I forgot the name of it. The Hermatrix. The Hermatrix is effectively something that just keeps the minds of the crew occupied while they are traveling through space, because it's a long way, and people get bored. I don't know what Rendog and Doc M77's actual deal was with the Hermatrix and the Hermetheus. That story just kind of sizzled. It went nowhere. I thought it would have been interesting for them to continue, so that's kind of where mine picks up. Like I said, they go dark for like 6 months, which is about true for what the time frame. I think Hermitcraft for season 8 ended in December, and then they didn't start back up until April, I want to say, or possibly May. I don't really remember. Now, bear in mind that I also need to pull my own story away from them, which has its own problems. Like, first off, having characters, that's one problem, and having a sun right over your shoulder blinding the camera is another problem. And then there's a couple of different issues that I had moving forward there, like trying to pull away from using the hermits and getting my own thing going. The other problem was I don't have anybody that could do voice acting or anything, so any kind of voice acting would be on me. I had to use a digital voice creator, like a text to, what is it, a text to chat, a text to vocal, whatever it's called. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I just got off work, 12-hour shifts. I'm tired, so my mind is not working correct. I'm having problems thinking and stuff, and that's part of the reason why we're doing this too, is so I'm actively engaged in something. That way I'm not like nodding off as I'm driving home. Anyway, so on his way out to try and meet up with all the other colonies and with the ship, he suddenly finds himself inside of a bubble, a reality bubble, and these are very bad. Basically, a reality bubble means that it is a false reality, and once the reality falls apart, it takes you with it. Anything inside of that false reality gets destroyed. And so he finds himself stuck in there, and as the story kind of progressed, I did hint at the fact that he is not real. I don't know if that actually came across or not. Again, I didn't have very many people interacting with my videos. Like, yeah, they would watch them and everything, but I didn't have many comments. So I didn't have questions or people being like, oh, this is good, this is bad, what does this mean, what does that mean, who are these people that you're talking about, like the members of Hermitcraft, because a big focus was put on I want to say 4 people, 4 hermits. So 2 of them, it was Wells Knight and Mumbo that I put a focus on, and then I put a little bit of a focus on false symmetry, and then I also put a little bit of focus on CubFan135. These stories ultimately went nowhere because, as I said in the previous video, I was playing off of what they were putting out as far as their content, and it just got nonsensical and didn't make any sense, and the stories weren't going anywhere. As far as Mumbo and Wells Night, this was kind of my way of explaining why they weren't part of season 9. Both of them had dipped out. Mumbo went on his epic biking adventure, and then later on he did something else. I don't remember what. Wells Night, I think, just wanted a break from vanilla Minecraft for a little while. That, and he kept coming back. 2 seasons in a row, he'd come back. Everybody's really far into the season. They've got all sorts of farms set up, the shopping districts set up. They're selling things. There's lots of hermits making lots of diamonds. And then there's Wells Night with nothing. So, yeah, this was kind of my explanation for where these two were. Anyway, moving on. So, the series effectively ends with Natanus he's forced into making a choice. He's got to make a somewhat random jump into the multiverse, and this kind of got glossed over in the main story arc, where this is going to be hard to explain, but you have what's called a Rift Navigator. So this is the type of person that can just navigate through the chaos of a rift as if it's second nature to them. They got no problem doing it. They just snap their fingers and they can do that. If memory serves correctly, the only hermit that I said was a navigator was in fact Gemini Tay. Yeah, Gemini Tay was the only navigator, and this was how her and Pearl had been able to bounce back and forth. Well, Gemini Tay apparently played off of that a little bit, but Pearlescent Moon didn't. Pearlescent Moon was going on the whole idea of she's a completely separate person or reincarnation or something. She wasn't like Jim bouncing back and forth, which I still think is pretty cool. That I don't know if it was on purpose or accidental or what, but I think it's pretty cool that she was reiterating things that I was saying. Yeah, I know we're talking about the Hermitcraft people again, but I kind of, in order to explain the story and where it was at and where it was going, I have to. But yeah, so Natanus has to make the choice of making an early jump into the rift, into the chaos of rift travel, in order to survive the impending collapse of the rift, of the bubble verse that he's in. And that's effectively where it ends. He makes the jump. He has no destination. It's just gonna randomly pop him out somewhere. And that's where I was at with that. Season 2 was supposed to start branching out from there and kind of start adding some more to this whole multiverse, alternate dimensions and things. And there's some things that I wanted to do, some ideas that I had that I just don't have a way of pulling off, to be perfectly honest. Not to mention being constantly fussed at. I want to use some choice language there, but we're not going to. But being constantly fussed at over being behind my computer and being able to make content, and then being basically pushed into a very terrible job as far as work-life balance and allowing me to continue my series. It would be possible if they had done as I asked and put me on day shift. They didn't put me on days, they put me on nights. So I don't currently have a way of actually recording any audio. Let me be clear about that. Recording the audio is the problem. Because everybody's asleep at night, I can't sit there and talk and like do my acting and like redo a cut, try again. Maybe I said this wrong, redo it. I can't do that on third shift. If I was on day shift, on my days off, then yeah, I could probably do it then, but third shift, there's no way. Alright, so some of the ideas that I had, I really wanted to get the mod pack that has the aliens, Alien versus Predator. I really wanted to get that and have some aliens like on a spaceship that I come across and I have to deal with it. I wanted to do that. I also wanted to make my own things, but the problem there is I don't know coding well enough to program an AI for some kind of creature. The other problem there is also modeling. I do have Blockbench and I have played around with it a little bit, but as far as taking that and then putting it into Minecraft, I'm a little bit limited on what I can do there. I have learned how to replace the pumpkin and all your tools with custom items, but as far as actually making the model, yeah, I'm not a 3D graphics person. I'm more of a programmer, so I know more about programming than I do 3D modeling. Blockbench is fairly simple, but even then, I mean, it's not my forte. I know I kind of briefly talked about that in a different video with talking about my frustration with one of my Christmas presents this past year. And that's because, you know, I've got this amazing piece of hardware and amazing software to go with it that would effectively mean that I could do a lot of artwork on the computer. Come on, really? But because I've been pushed into this new job that has me on third shift, there's no point because I can't use it for what it was intended for. And it was intended to help me with my YouTube channel. Yeah, blame the idiots that thought that up. Hey, we're gonna put you in a position where you can't do your own YouTube thing anymore, but here's some nice software and hardware to help you with that. What am I supposed to do with this? Yeah, freaking idiots. Anyway, so that's a couple of the ideas. Another one of them was I also wanted to make some armor, but then when I was asking questions about the armor, come to find out you can't do that with armor. You actually have to build a full-on mod for that. Okay, I might be able to make the 3D modeling for a piece of armor. Coding that into the game, no, I don't have a clue how to do that. That's not something I'm familiar with. Replacing the pumpkin, replacing the different tools, yeah, I can do that. Making a full-on mod that gets you a new piece of gear or replaces the model of a piece of gear, no, that's not something I know how to do. So that went nowhere pretty quickly. Not Nothing I can do about that. That's just knowledge that I don't have. Now, I don't think it'd take that much to learn it, but I simply don't have the time. Moving on from there, I don't really have a plan for the story. I'm still... There's still ideas in my head bouncing around that has to do with Hermitcraft, unfortunately. What are you doing? Are you trying to turn? Are you turning left? It's not even you, it's somebody else. Okay. And they turned left. That was super annoying. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this. The idea of it staying with Hermitcraft is still stuck on me. However, as I did say in a previous video, there's absolutely zero chance of me ever joining them. So it's completely pointless for me to continue on as if, you know, this whole story is about me getting to them and joining them. That was one of the original goals of this. If you're familiar with Aliens, then you know that the Weyland Corporation it's pretty dang evil, to be perfectly honest. It's pretty evil with its employees, to the point of like sacrificing them as lambs to investigate the aliens and possibly bring them home and then experiment with them to make biological weapons. So that was one of the ideas, in that they actually selected this cleaner to become part of this colony crew, because they are a man down, or because they just want like somebody with that kind of reputation on this colony team, or they feel like the colony team needs a protector. Well, I kind of ended up throwing this idea out because at some point in all of my comments on various Hermit videos, I said that Cub Fan was also a cleaner and that he was effectively my rival. Yeah, that was a thing that happened. I don't remember where that's at, and you'd be hard pressed to find it. I did joke around a while back about possibly finding all those comments and like building a super story out of it, like actually writing out a full-on story. And I did actually write a portion of a story and put it over on the Hermitcraft Reddit. Though it wasn't exactly what ended up happening with season 9 as far as Hermitcraft is concerned. Yes, I know I'm talking about it again. And so that particular story, that little short story that I wrote, had to deal with Rendog's character, whatever that character's name is, the one that he started off season 9 with, who was talking to Rosie about the Hermits being in danger on planet HCS 9, whatever that character is. So it had to do with him. He was chasing down an erroneous signal somewhere nearby. And then it also focused primarily on Doc M77, because I wanted to kind of play off of Doc M's hive mind thing, and I wanted to like take advantage of that and make it almost like Brainiac. How Brainiac is connected to all Brainiacs across the multiverse. That's kind of what I wanted to do there with Doc M77. So the hive mind is really just Doc M77 across the multiverse, effectively. But anyway, what I wanted to do with that, or what I did with that in that little short story, is Doc M kind of experienced a glitch in the Matrix, so to speak, in that he is talking with, I don't remember who I had in the story. I think it was Gem and Impulse and Pearl, maybe. And they were chatting, and then all of a sudden the three of them were now four talking with, I think it was Mumbo, and then all of a sudden Mumbo was gone, and no, that's not it. They were accidentally repeating themselves, and they were visually seeing themselves repeating themselves. It'd be like you saying something, and then you're standing there watching yourself saying that, and you're like, well, wait, I didn't say that. What was that? But in fact, you actually did say it. It's just now, for whatever reason, you're seeing the past, which is actually the future. I had some major time travel shenanigans going on there. And throughout this little short story, as Doc is investigating this, after further analysis, the hive mind discovers that this recording thing that Doc M is seeing is not an isolated incident. Like, they've seen it several times. And when Doc M starts looking into it more, they realize it becomes apparent that they have a couple million years of information that is corrupt. And not only is it corrupt, but it's a data loop, which leaves Doc M going, what the heck? How do I have a data loop, inside the hive mind that's over 1 million years old? That's not possible. Anyway, we go back to Rendog's character, and Rendog's character flies up to an anomaly that they can't really detect. Like, they partially can detect this anomaly. But, moving on from there, when he goes to investigate it and scan it, there's nothing there. They can't detect anything. However, they do detect a hole in it and a trail coming from it. This was effectively supposed to be my character jumping through the rift, and his character was just now getting there to the bubble verse as the bubble verse collapsed. So my character was out there somewhere in the universe, traveling the rift, while his character was there trying to figure out what this anomaly is and why there is a spaceship there somewhere. However, there's a little bit more to that, as the spaceship that he has detected is over 1 million years old. So the anomaly that he has detected was detected very recently. However, once they get up to it, the anomaly is reading as if it's been there for millions of years. So millions of years ago, Natanus escaped the bubble universe. Yeah, I had a lot of time travel shenanigans going on there. Now, then we go back to Doc M77, and what is revealed in that little short at the end is that the hermits on HCS 9 haven't been there for, I think because of the time frame, it would have been a year. They haven't been there for 1 year. They've been there repeating that year for millions of years. So effectively, they have done everything they've done there a couple million times. Couple million? No, it'd be exactly a million, because you got 1 year and you got a million years that they've been there. Just 1 year repeated over and over and over and over and over. And that's kind of what they are visually seeing, is that overlap of them previously doing this already. And it's kind of where the my thought process was on that, was that this is now, you're starting to see the degrading of the universe now, because of whatever the Rift has been doing. And the Rift has been causing them to repeat time. And because of how the Rift works, and because it was connected to the Empires, that means it was also doing it to the Empires universe. So season 2 of Empires was effectively being repeated for 1 million years, over and over and over again. Which kind of put a kink in the story there. But that was supposed to be what was going on there on Hermitcraft Season 9. I do notice, you know what, we're not going to go there. I don't want to speculate about that, because this is supposed to be about me and my story, and where I wanted to go with it, and where I still want to go with it. We didn't really talk too much about where I'm thinking of going, only that I mentioned things that I wanted to do, not where I wanted the story to go from there. So we got just a few seconds more before I actually pull up to the house. So let's briefly touch on it. Effectively, what I wanted to do, as I'm trying to pull the reins in on the story and lead it away from anything Hermitcraft, what I decided to do is we're going to do a kind of Lost in Space mercenary. So he's still got to be able to buy food and get fuel and ammunition and all that. And he is a cleaner, and cleaners in this storyverse is a very well-known thing across all dimensions, because, you know, they're the galactic police, or not the police, but they're the I don't really know how to explain that. I was thinking of saying they're like the Green Lanterns, but the Green Lanterns are the Galactic Police. Cleaners are not that. Cleaners are mercenaries, but they are far spread like the Green Lanterns. And the whole reason I compare them to Green Lanterns, if you don't know, in fact, I'm not even 100% sure on what I'm about to say. It's been a long time since I've read any DC comics, and I don't think I've ever read Green Lantern. But to my knowledge, the planet Iowa, where the Guardians reside, where they're from, is a single planet in the entire multiverse. There's only one Iowa, and they are connected to the entire multiverse. So they send out green power rings to the entire multiverse. Which, if you really think about that and know what that implies, doesn't make a whole lot of sense that they do that. But that's effectively what I wanted the Cleaners to be, is like this multiversal agency that just goes out and wrecks face, basically. That was the idea behind that. Unfortunately, I never really got to cover anything like that, and without somebody else, like another person to interact with, or somebody to act like they are another Cleaner, nearly impossible to kind of tell off the story. I really need, first off, the time to keep recording, and second off, I really would like a few people to join in on this and help me create this story. I really need other people that can be characters. That's the biggest concern. So I'm not going to say who, but I had intended for one of the hermits to be the damsel in distress kind of character for Natanus. Basically the love interest for Natanus. I had the intent of that. So pulling away from Hermitcraft, I need I mean, there's no other way of saying it. I would just need a female to play that character, to play that role. And then a few other characters here and there. And, like, make it a whole, like, storyline of a server kind of thing. As far as where it would go and where it would end, I don't know. I had this vision of the first, like, season-ending boss battle. You know how, like, The Flash always had some villain that they're dealing with throughout the entire season, and at the end of the season, they finally take care of business with that villain. It was kind of like that, and effectively what would happen during that is as they are escaping through the rift, Natanus would split off back into Wells Knight and Mumbo Jumbo, and the two of them would tag team the villain and be able to defeat it. Meanwhile, Natanus had previously given Doc M77 a vial of his blood, and the love interest is crying because she's like, I've lost him. Not going to be able to ever see him again. He's gone. However, Doc M is sitting there looking at that blood sample going, yeah, he's gone. And that's where it would cut. And then what I wanted to have happen is in between season 9 and season 10. Obviously, none of this is going to happen. I'm just trying to get out the ideas that I had for it and kind of tell what I had planned and show you that I had some interesting ideas. And I'm still very tempted to write a story on that, but obviously with what they're doing with season 10, it's not going to fit together. I'd have to make up stuff, which means I'd have to completely remove the Hermitcraft element and make up some other group. So I would effectively have to retcon the entire story. Anyway, moving on. So between season 1 and season 2, effectively what would happen is you would see the professor, the evil professor, toying away, working with this blood and the blood special. And he's like, yeah, I think I can do this. He effectively ends up cloning the blood and bringing this combination character back as his own person. So now you've got the two people and this person, Natanus, that is. So and that's where the whole original opening for my YouTube channel kind of stemmed from, where I'm talking about 2 stars. So the 2 stars get combined into 1. The 1 star is like, hey, something's not right here. We're missing 2. And then eventually the 1 star realizes that, oh, we're missing 2 because I am both of them. And the only way for me to bring them back in order to do what they do, I have to die. And effectively he does. And the whole, but what if, why can't all three exist? That's where season 2 would kind of come in, and the professor, the evil scientist, there we go, that's what I was looking for. The evil scientist figures out how to clone this person and brings him back. However, this season 2 starts getting into this, and my ideas for season 2 of the original concept was, at some point in it, you would see Natanus's eye color change. And whether or not other members noticed really didn't matter, didn't mean anything. But effectively, he would slowly become evil. Like, not even slightly evil. I mean, like, evil. Like, killing off members of the crew. Kind of like in a hardcore playthrough is kind of what I was thinking. Obviously, this gets kind of dark. Like, killing off other members. What? Not literally killing them off, but it'd be like in a hardcore world. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. It's something like that, but effectively with season 2, he is now the villain, or he's developing into the villain, and nobody knows why. Like, something's not right. And that's kind of where that ended at. I never went past that. I never really came up with concepts. If you can't tell from the way I've been talking about this, this also got thrown out. It's still something that I think could potentially happen within that story. I'm not entirely sure, but it is a possibility. But, you know, as I've been saying repeatedly for a few weeks or months now, I can't really produce the content that I want to produce right now. I am limited to making videos like this and just uploading my streams from Twitch. Now, with that being said, before we actually go, because, you know, I'm at home, sitting there in the car, ready to go in. I'm very tired. I want to go to bed. Do join me over on twitch.tv/Natanus, NATANIS _Likens, LIKENS. And come join me. I do know it is a little bit annoying being that I'm on third shift and I can't really talk, so I have to use I have to type into chat and everything. If we are playing Minecraft, I will use a narrator, which gets pretty funny at times. There is a video here on my channel where I was talking about something and I typed it in wrong, and in order to relay the wrongness of that back to the chat, I said I typed in 100% the wrong thing. That's what I typed in. 100% the wrong thing. And what narrator did was absolutely hysterical to me. I didn't realize I had the mic on, and you can actually hear me laughing and snickering. And I'm, again, third shift, I'm trying to stay quiet, but I was the entire time just absolutely dying laughing. And that's because it popped up and said, Natanus Likens says 100% the wrong thing, which is just hilarious. Anyway, I've got to get back in, guys. Get back in. I got to go in. I got to go to bed. Please leave a like if you do enjoy these little chats. Leave a like if you enjoyed hearing about what the story was supposed to be. Some of my concepts for the story arc for my Minecraft content. definitely leave me a comment. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't know if you're liking anything that I've done. I don't know anything about it. I need to hear back from you guys. I do know there are people out there that watch, so please leave me a comment, leave me a like, and subscribe for more storytelling. And I will see you guys later.